surrender. Oh, we'll hear the thunder roar, feel the lightning strike. At a point we'll both decide to meet the same time tonight. Hang on in there, baby. Hang on in there, darling. I'm gonna give you more than you've ever dreamed possible. Don't be afraid, baby. Oh, hey, it's the virgin of the world. We can't help but make.
Hey drummers, hope you're well. This is the groove from Curiosity, previously known as Curiosity Killed the Cat. In fact, that's how I knew them. Apparently at this point in their career, they shortened it to Curiosity. And this is their cover of the great Johnny Bristol soul classic, Hang On In There Baby. Shout out to channel member Leon, who asked about this one. Now, this is really interesting. You might not be playing this song as such, but I think this is one of those classic feels, man, classic types of groove that certainly in my case, just as a working drummer, you just find yourself playing over and over and over again. It's that kind of lovely little, what is it, pop, soul, funk, kind of hip hop, somewhere between those, with that sort of swinging 16th note feel. How often do we end up playing a groove like this? And the point here, I think, is like, you know, we can fly around the kit and learn all these amazing drum fills, and you can do all these different things on the kit that wow other drummers. But to be honest, like what pays my mortgage is sitting there doing that, basically just keeping it solid, man, just grooving along. And yeah, I'm not sure. It sounds like on the original there, I was just having a listen to it. It sounds like there's either a sample or drum machine rolling as well. The drummer is called Midgie Drummond, and it was a great drummer actually from what I've seen. They also had, it turns out, just reading on Wikipedia, Jeff Porcaro playing with them sometimes on some tracks on the one of their albums, I think. But yeah, it's just that perfect feel. So what I'm going to do here is build it up in like maybe 3 stages. So I think there's a first stage, which is just the hi-hat and the kick and the snare, which is against the classic phrase that you just end up playing again and again and again as a gigging drummer. I do anyway. And then on the second phase, I think we'll open the hi-hat that gives it a bit more of that kind of hip-hop loop kind of feel. And then the third phase will add some ghosted snare drum notes, which give it a bit of movement and just sort of bring it to life a little more, I think. So the basic pattern, people always ask like what grade level this is at. So I'll try and say for each level. I reckon the basic pattern, kick, loud snare and hi-hat, is about grade 3, something like that. That would be this. So as you can hear there, it's basically a straight 8s feel. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's what your hands are playing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The bass drum is the thing that gets it going here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the kick on the 1, there's a kick just before the first snare drum. Now watch out, man. If it depends, like I always say in these videos, it depends where you're at with your drumming. If you're an experienced drummer, this is fine. But if you're just starting out, this will be something that will take time and considerable time and effort and repetitions to get smooth at. Here we're going to drop hence the fact I'd say it's about grade 3. You'd here drop the bass drum in between the hi-hat flow. So if your hi-hat's playing those straight 8s, your bass drum here, the one on the just before the first snare drum hit, goes in between the hi-hats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There's also one on the of beat 2. So this is after the 4th hi-hat hit in total, before beat 3. So again, in between the hi-hats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the final bass drum is on the and of beat 3. This one will be in sync with the hi-hat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Like I said at the top, it's got a 16th note swing to it. I've done a video or two about that. I'll link to those in the video description below or above, depending where you watch this. So rather than the 16th sort of undercurrent running through it being 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a like evenly spaced, you've got that 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and that swing hip hop, you know, funk sort of feel. So rather than going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's going to go. And another way of saying that is the notes that are on offbeat 16ths, so the of beat 1 and the of beat 2, you're going to play them a bit later. It's often described as flirting with the time. You play them as late as you dare. Okay, so there we are. That's level 1. Now, just to repeat a point here, it really all does depend where you're at. If you've been playing the drums for a while and that's all smooth, great. If you're starting off, then that is going to be pretty challenging, honestly. What you'll find, of course, is that when you go for those bass drums in between the hi-hats, your right stick will go with it. You've got to build these things up, man. Go real slow. I'll also link to this in the description. If you check out my whole video playlist about developing your bass drum, load of drills, loads of exercises for you on there to develop this kind of skill. We don't bring any expectation if we've not been playing the drums that long. These will just fall into place at all. But that's what's going on. That's level 1. Now in level 2, we're opening the hi-hat. Now here the hi-hat's going to lift up as with your left foot, if you're right-handed like me, as you strike it on the and of beat 1 and the and of beat 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So level 2 will be. So at kind of song speed. Kind of feel we're looking for. Classic sort of hip hop, isn't it? Boom, gat, dum, scat, boom, scat, dum, scat. Brilliant. That would work great, and you could groove along quite happily and make it feel good with that. Now, I think on balance, what you'd do, what I would certainly do if I was playing this song live, just to get some of the other movement in there. Like I say, on the original version, it's a little bit hard to tell exactly what's going on. There's a few different sort of sampled things running. So I would definitely put in the ghosted snares here just to fill it out a little bit, give it a little bit of movement. I would go something like this. So all the stuff from before, but now we're playing little ghosted notes, little quiet notes, as quiet as you can play and still play cleanly. I'd basically put them on every little 16th note, and remember these are all swung, these 16ths. I'd put them on every 16th note. Yeah, except for one. I think pretty much every 16th note that isn't already accounted for. So on beat 1, as you can see, 1, E, and so I'll play it on the E, on the 2. I think I'll do that classic ghost note thing of like Jeff Porcaro style of hitting a snare drum backbeat, the loud one, and then a quiet ghosted one straight after. 2E. On beat 3, we'll play it in the gap there on E, 3E, as I'll put on screen, and then 4E and I think we'll fill in with the E and the So again, you do the kind of echo effect straight after the backbeat, and then also on the at the end. Let's go real slow on all that. So 1, E, and 3, E, and Go a bit slower. 3 E and 4 E and Okay, now we'll pick up a bit of speed. Like I say, for me, like if you can just get that to sit and get that to groove, that's absolutely take it to the bank, solid groove, isn't it? People think maybe being a professional drummer is about playing all these difficult, fancy things. It's about playing stuff like that, man. Honestly, like 9 times out of 10. Obviously, there are times when you need to play more complicated things. It's about turning up and nailing stuff like that, man, to the point where you play the first 2 bars. You know, you count it in. And every musician in the band would be like, yeah, cool, I know where we're at with this. Boom, like set the tone, like bring the mood with you, do you know what I mean? Like as soon as you start playing, it's party time, it feels good, it's grooving along. The rest of the musicians, that bass player knows exactly what's cooking. There's no funny business of, is this drummer going to be all right? Like in the first 2 bars, man, set the tone, just set the mood, lovely, and just sit on that all the way. Very, very nice. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff in there, isn't it? It's funny because on the face of it, it's tempting to say, oh, this is a nice, simple, straightforward groove, but there is quite a lot in it. And what I end up doing a lot is obviously working with drummers who are starting out, who are sort of intermediate and coming up and doing their grades and stuff. And it's really interesting to see. And one of the things about teaching drums, actually, which is it's given me a whole new appreciation for what's going on in a groove like that. Whereas, a few years ago, perhaps before I taught lots and lots, you might just say, oh, it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. Actually, you do get a deep appreciation over time for like this. There's quite a lot going on here. So that first level, first level with the closed hi-hat. Second level with the open hi-hats on the and of beat 1 and the and of beat 3. And then ghosty notes all the way. And you'll be in business. I can't stress enough, it massively depends where you're at. Do not freak out or think there's something wrong or start saying that this is hard or I'm struggling. If you're quite near the beginning of your drumming, like in the first, year or 2, I would say, and that bass drum dropping between the hi-hats is something that takes time. You've got to go slow, man. Every drummer does. I remember poring over this when I was, 14 years old, something like that, just desperately going so slow, like in my bedroom, just desperately trying to land a kick like smoothly and in a relaxed fashion in between the hi-hats. It takes time, it takes work, it takes repetition. Don't judge it for months and months, man. Like build and build and build. If you're at that stage, then you're up and running, I think. But that, I would say, of all the levels, that bass drum dropping between the hi-hats really smoothly and getting relaxed with that first is the trickiest bit. So shout out to Leon, great suggestion. That's a song I would have never covered, but I do remember buying, actually. This is one of the first singles I think I ever bought was Name a Number, one of the Curiosity Killed the Cat's like other big hits, and the drumming was banging, man. Yeah, it was clearly a great player, and that's cool about the Jeff Porcaro thing. So like I say, shout out to Leon, thanks for watching as always, really appreciate it. Please like, share and subscribe if you have found these videos helpful or useful and you'd like to support this channel and you're in a position to, please consider buying me a coffee or becoming a channel member like Leon for a load of benefits, including a personalized practice plan for you, ongoing drum support, members videos, access to the notation and practice along versions for all these type of videos that I put up. Like right now on the channel members page, there'll be the notation for this, for the 3 levels, but also for the practice along versions for level 1, 2 and 3 with the ghost notes there at the end. So you can speed them up, slow them down, jam along, get a nice feel for it like that. I'm on hand to answer your questions. You can message me anytime. I'll message you back, email, or I often do video responses. You get a complimentary Zoom session where we can formulate your practice plan for you, or go over it, or face-to-face session if you prefer, and then access to future sessions from there if you want them. If that sounds like it'd be of interest, like I say, details at the Buy Me a Coffee link above or below. When I say below, by the way, on YouTube, in the video description, people always message me, where's the link to become a channel member? In the video description, directly below the video, or in a pinned comment. So on the comment section, the first comment, just click on that. Like, I might need to do show more, open up. It'll be in there, right? Thanks for watching as always. Shout out to Leon. See you soon.